Some people don't lose their future because they're unlucky, they lose it because they never believed it was coming. But for Ethan Cole, the future arrived the day death knocked on his door. Ethan Cole was the kind of man who lived like tomorrow was a rumor. 30 years old, loud laughs, late nights, empty pockets. Life was a game to him, and he played it recklessly. Why think about the future, he would say. I'm young. I've got time. His father, Daniel Cole, a quiet, disciplined man, would just shake his head. Son, time is only kind to those who respect it. But Ethan never listened. He spent his paychecks on nights out, new gadgets, fast thrills. Savings? None. Plans? Zero. Responsibility? Not even a shadow. He thought life would always wait for him. Until one winter morning, it didn't. Daniel Cole collapsed on the shop floor of his small woodworking store, the same shop he had run for 35 years. A heart attack. Sudden. Silent. Unforgiving. When Ethan reached the hospital, his world stilled. His father, the man who carried his childhood on his shoulders, lay breathless and still. The doctor apologized softly. But Ethan's ears rang. His throat tightened. His knees almost gave out. Death didn't just take his father. It took everything Ethan thought he had time to ignore. The next day, as he stood in his father's workshop, something inside him cracked open. Sawdust still lingered in the air. Tools lay exactly where Daniel had left them. On the counter sat an unfinished wooden box, the last thing his father would ever build. Ethan touched it with trembling fingers. For the first time in his life, he felt the weight of tomorrow. Bills he never cared about now carried his name. The shop he never wanted was suddenly his responsibility. The home his father left behind needed him. Everything that once felt optional was now urgent. And Ethan realized something terrifying. His father had been protecting him from life. Now life was coming for him directly. The following weeks were chaos. Debt notices. Customers asking if the shop would stay open. Legal papers. Funeral arrangements. Ethan wanted to run, like he always did. But every time he felt weak, every time he felt like giving up, he remembered the last thing his father ever told him a week before he died. Ethan, discipline isn't a cage. It's the road to freedom. Those words became the fire in his chest. For the first time, Ethan woke before sunrise. He cleaned the workshop. He learned woodworking, slowly, painfully. He watched videos, read manuals, practiced for hours. He made mistakes. He failed. He cried when nobody was watching. He went to bed exhausted and woke up even more tired. But he continued. Every single day. Because now he wasn't just working for himself. He was working for the future he never allowed himself to imagine. Months passed. The shop survived. Then it grew. Then it thrived. Customers returned. Neighbors praised his dedication. Ethan crafted his first handmade table and sold it within hours. For the first time in his life, he felt something unfamiliar. Pride. Not the loud, empty pride he used to fake. But the quiet pride born from discipline, effort, and responsibility. His father would have smiled. And Ethan felt that smile every time he stepped into the workshop. Years later, Ethan had a son, Oliver. A bright-eyed boy with the same restless energy Ethan once had. One evening, Oliver stormed into the workshop, frustrated and angry. "Dad, why do I need to study? Why do I need to work so hard? I'm young. I'll do it later." Ethan froze. Those words were a ghost from his past. He walked over, knelt beside his son, and placed his hand on the table, a table his father had taught him to respect, a table that carried the memories of a man who lived with discipline. "Oliver," he said softly, "let me tell you a secret." The room grew still. "Your future is not a place you arrive at by accident. IT's a place you build. Brick by brick. Day by day. With work you don't want to do, on days you don't want to do it. Oliver blinked, listening. I wasted years thinking tomorrow was guaranteed. But the truth is, tomorrow is the most expensive thing you will ever own. If you don't prepare for it, it can disappear in 1 second. Ethan's voice cracked slightly. When my father died, I wasn't ready. I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't responsible. I lost everything overnight, except one thing. What? Oliver whispered. A chance, Ethan replied. A chance to become a man he'd be proud of. And I'm telling you this so you don't make my mistakes. Oliver sat quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Dad. I understand. And Ethan's heart eased. His father had once taught him. Now he was passing the lesson forward. The cycle of responsibility continued. The future, once ignored, had become his greatest teacher. Moral of the story. The future doesn't wait for anyone. You either prepare for it, or you pay for it. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's the bridge that turns dreams into reality, loss into growth, and boys into men.